Hello. This video is going to be about submitting the PCB board for the ELC, the Electrical Engineering 340 lab to JLC PCBs. So hopefully you'll have your board laid out like this already. All the traces connected. You've already checked to make sure that everything's all connected and there's no overlap. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the student section of Learning Suite. So if you scroll down to the lab, you'll see this section that says PCB zip. So we can click on this, and Dr. Schultz has put in a link to the GitHub for the JLC. So once we get to the JLC GitHub, we can just take this code button and we'll be able to get a zip file of all their different files. So you can hit code and then download zip. And you can see at the bottom here, it's loaded. So we can go into our files now, go to downloads, and you can see it's here, right here, the JLC PCB Eagle Master Zip. We're going to want to extract that. Here's the extracted file. We can open that. So what we can do is we can go in. First, we'll do the design rules. So we'll take the design rules, move it to Documents. Here's the design rules in our documents now. Move it to this Eagle file. And then inside this Eagle file, there's a number of different folders. For the DRC, we want to put it into the design rules folder. So we're going to move that into the design rules. So you can see there's a few other here, like the default and the ELC, and now we'll have this one. So once we're running it, we'll be able to choose the correct DRC to check with the JLC's requirements. Next, we'll go over back to downloads, back to the folder that we unzipped, and we'll get the CAM processor that we want. So here's the one we want. Again, we're going to move it to Documents, move it into Eagle. This time, we want to take it and put it in this CAM file. That's where Eagle is going to look for any CAM processing folders that you're going to have. So again, you can see here's the ELC CAM, and now here's our JLC PCB two-layer CAM. So now we should be able to go back to Eagle, go back to our board. So everything should be laid out. So first, we're going to check the DRC. So I'll need to run rat's nest quick to get the ground plane. Now you can go down here to this arrow, and you can hit DRC here, or Tools, DRC. Both of those will take you to this page. So right now you can see at the top, we're running DRC Basic. So we want to change that. So you're going to go down here to Load. And that's going to open up that file where we put in our DRC before. So typically you would be running the default or the ELC one. Now we want to run this JLC PCB. So we're going to click on that. So that's loaded. We can hit Apply. So you saw some changes happen to the board. Now we can hit Check. Now, if nothing pops up over here, you should see down at the bottom here, it says DRC, no errors. Oops. So that means that the board has met all the requirements for the JLC milling process. So this is good to go. If there is any errors, you'll get a screen popping up right over here that says you'll have an air wire missing, which means you haven't connected, or perhaps your ground planes aren't connected, things like that, and you can work through and change those until they're all fixed. But this is good to go. So now we're going to go up and convert it into a zip file. So once we do that, we go up here to CAM processor. This is how we're going to get this board out and submit it to JLC. So you hit CAM processor. Yeah, that's just asking if the design was changed. So now what we need to do first is get the correct CAM file. So to do that, you come up here, load job file, and then you'll see this drop-down window. A few different options. We want to do an open CAM file. So then it's just going to pull it up. It doesn't go straight to the CAM folder for some reason, but it's pretty easy. You can just navigate, go to Eagle, go into the CAM folder, and now here's the CAM file that we're going to want to use. So once we've uploaded that, we should be good to export as a zip. You want to click that up here so you get a zip file instead of getting a whole bunch of different files that you don't want. Once you've done that and the CAM file is uploaded, we can hit Process Job. And then here's the name, and it's going to put it automatically into the project folder in ELC. You can move it if you want to, but this is a pretty good place to store it, so you can access it later. So we're just going to hit Save. Yes, that should be fine. So now it's process completed. We can open the folder and see, here's my project folder. You can see the board and schematic, and now here's the zip file. And inside, here's all the different things that JLC will need to mill the boards. So once we do that, now you have this submittable file. And we want to go now to JLC's website. So we can just go to JLC PCB. So I think this top one should be good, but you can find it as you search through. So here's the website for JLC PCBs. We can go to Order Now. And so this is going to be the steps to submitting it. You won't need to do most of this. We're just going to do this as a check to make sure that your board meets their requirements. The shop will run through most of everything else so that we can have all the boards be similar, and it's not going to be an issue with shipping and things. So we're going to click here, Add Gerber File. You can see that it accepts zip, so that should work well. So it just pulls up the file Explorer. So you're going to have to then navigate back to your Eagle. Then Projects is one of the folders. That's where it should be stored. Here we have the board stored in EE340. And here's the zip file. So we can click on that and open it. It'll take a little bit. There's a lot of information stored in those files. Okay, so you can see now, here's the board. If you remember from Eagle, it looks fairly similar to, it looks exactly the same as what we had before, and this is what they're going to do. So this is the bottom of the board. You can see all the traces routed out, and this is the top of the board. That'll just have paths for you to place in your components. You can also see the silk screen or the lettering is engraved in there, so we'll be able to know where to put things. So now that you've done that, it should be good. Don't worry about any of these. As long as it uploads, you should be okay to submit to Dr. Schultz. So once you've checked and make sure your file is good to go, you can go back to Learning Suite and back to this PCB zip, and then just submit your file. Submit the zip file. So this specifically, this file here is what you want to submit. Is this mine's called the Receiver Board 2022-1109 zip. So